Wow, that was very fast. Welcome to a Tuesday night edition of Just Sports, and welcome to your hometown Sears studio. My name is Les Martin, and for our executive producer, Honey B.
I'm Brent Allen.
I was waiting for him to say God bless and go Cougars, but that's at the end of the
That's
show.
a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap. We're good to go. Anyway, before we get started, I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors as I'm writing, because I want to make sure I get all of them right in tune to where I give everybody equal opportunity.
That's right.
Ain't that the right thing to do?
I think it is.
Yeah, I was thinking about the right thing to do. I have came to the conclusion the last time we had a show, I said that tools to me was like shoes to a woman. Mm-hmm. I have figured out how I can get more tools. Sell my wife's shoes.
Interesting.
I mean, she's already sold a couple of them on Campbell County online trade through Facebook or something like that.
Getting pretty big.
Yeah, have you seen that?
I have.
That's something else. She had sold a pair of boots, a couple of pair of boots actually. So I'm hoping I can kind of sweet talk her into selling those other 150 pair of shoes she's got. But I don't understand that.
I don't either. So many times to me they look, they're black, they have heels, they look the same to me, but there's something different about them.
To me, a pair of shoes is a pair of shoes is a pair of shoes. Does your wife have a lot of shoes?
She's not a shoe freak, although I've known some in my past, and she's not. My wife's pretty low maintenance.
Really?
Yeah,
that surprises me.
Now, she does love shoes, don't get me wrong. That is her thing.
Gotcha.
She just doesn't, waste a lot of money on them.
Well, my wife, let me tell you what, I'm going to tell you this little quick story, then we'll get on with our sponsors. I know this is a sports show, folks, but we've got to have
some... that's kind of like sports, cleats, high heels, whatever. We've
got to have a little bit of comedy to go along with this, right?
Sure.
My wife goes to a particular shoe store, and she has in mind of buying one pair of shoes.
Now, is this a pair of shoes to go with a certain outfit? Is that how she does it, or is it just a...
It's just a spare of the moment type deal.
Okay.
It's like our first date.
I took Waffle House.
Yes. And she ate up like $25 worth at Waffle House.
That's doing something.
Yeah. She had some pork chops, and she ate part of my waffle. But getting back to the shoe story... She goes into a particular shoe store, and I'm not going to mention the shoe store's name because they're not one of our sponsors.
There you go.
But she buys a pair of shoes. She comes home with two pair of shoes.
Uh-oh.
I said, so let me ask you a question. Why did you get two pair of shoes if you only needed one? Brent's got the music playing in the background because he knows what this is leading up to.
That's right.
She said, well, if I bought the first pair of shoes, I got the second pair of shoes half price. So therefore, she spent more money for two pairs than she would have if she only got one pair. She doesn't see that. She thinks she got a deal.
It's one of the most intriguing marketing scams out there. The BOGO. Buy one, get one. You know.
Exactly.
All they do is jack up the price of one so that you pay what you would have for two anyway.
You're still paying $100 and something for two pair of shoes, which is about $50 a pair.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, give or take.
Sure.
With my wife.
But it doesn't hurt as bad if one pair is $75 and the other is $25. See, they got a really good deal on that $25.
Yeah, but half price of $75 is $30.
Sure, that's true. That's a good point.
It's $37.50.
Now you're looking at $115.
Exactly. There's my whole point. She could have got away with $75. Instead, she spends $115. I don't get it, but I guess that's the reason why I do sports and talk about sports and not worry about
shoes.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, welcome to your hometown Sears studio. We certainly appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to join us here on WLAF on the AM side of the dial of 1450, as well as WLAF channel 12. And also, we cannot forget, it's 1450WLAF.com. Now, 1450WLAF.com. Also, folks, we have a page on 1450WLAF. Mm-hmm. Over on the right-hand side, about 3 columns down, it says WLAF Sports Archives. You click on that archive, and every show that we've had here for the last 3 weeks to a month or something of that nature is archived. Our program is archived, and you can go back and watch it. Now, this is a good thing simply because of the simple fact of Thursday night, we're hoping to have Coach Kane on. I've also got a message out to Coach Parker of the Jacksboro Middle School. We'd like to get them on next week also. We're hoping to get some kids on here. So parents, here's the deal. Going forward, you can go on 1450WLAF.com and you can download our archive, record our archive to a jump drive, and then transfer it to a disk or something of that nature.
Exactly.
That way you can have it when we have your kids on. So that's what we're after. A lot of folks has asked us many times, do you archive, is it recorded? Well, folks, it is recorded now, thanks to Mr. Coach King, Vic
That's
King.
right. That's right.
Thanks for everybody's help on making that happen for us. Also, we want to say thank you to Sears, one of our longtime sponsors. Their phone number is 562-7700. For anything that you need inside or outside of your home, Sears has exactly what you need. It doesn't really matter, from a box springs and mattress to washing powders, all the way down to a over-the-range microwave. As far as new ranges, new refrigerators, washer and dryers, you name it, they've got it. Their phone number is 562-7700. We want to say thank you to Charlie's Pizza, often imitated, never duplicated. For 38 long years, Jerry Parton and Charlie's Pizza has been doing pizza right, and now they do a lot of other things that goes with it. Just like grilled chicken with mushrooms and melted cheese on top. That's my favorite. That is my favorite outside the pizza. Their phone number is 562-0116 if you'd like to have a call-in order, or if you'd like to take your family down and just sit in and have a fantastic time. It's a great family environment. It's where we host the Just Sports Show every Thursday night during football season. So thank you to that longtime sponsor as well. Also, Bird Screen Printing, downtown La Follette beside the Birds Memorial Bridge. Their phone number is 562-3044. For the windbreaker that I have on, we got that courtesy of Bird Screen Printing. Also, the sign that you've seen behind us, and this is pretty much a political year.
Absolutely.
A lot of folks running for office for this year. That's the place to get your signs. If you need a sign, go down to Bird Screen Printing. They will fix you up. Their phone number is 562-3044. Also, Rainbow Ford. Folks, it's a home of the guaranteed financing. Rainbow Ford. Their phone number is 562-2251. They also have extended service hours on Saturday from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. for all of your needs for your vehicle. Does not matter what make or model, they can take care of it.
That's right.
General Motors, Chrysler, Jeep, it doesn't matter. Dodge, Ford, of course, and anything else that you may need, they'll take care of you. Also, All-Star Awards. Those the folks that made the All-Star Awards, weekly award winners for the Campbell County football program each and every week, offense and defensive player, and I keep saying it, and I'm sure they'll be back next year as well. We certainly appreciate Mr. David Rutherford. Their phone number is 562-6761. It's at 720 Jacksboro Pike, right across from Sonic in the A-frame shaped building. For all your trophy and plaque needs, that is the place to be.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Whew. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
What's say, Lance?
What's going on, brother? I knew you was going to call in tonight.
Oh, not much. You?
Oh, sitting here having a fantastic time, buddy. About to get wound tight.
Well, what about Seahawks, buddy?
I knew for a fact that you was going to say that, and you picked them. You picked the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Denver Broncos, and be perfectly honest with you, I did not think that was going to happen. I actually picked Denver to go 38-17 over Seattle. But if you would have told me last Thursday night that Seattle would have scored that many points, I would have said there was no way.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to get a hold of you before you went off there, but
Oh, yeah?
yeah, I was trying to get a hold of you before you went off there to talk to you about it, but
Wow, I apologize. It's I wish I would have known, but what did you think? What did you think about the game? It was to me. I'm going to tell you what I thought, and then you can tell me your opinion. I did not think Denver belonged in the Super Bowl after I got to watching it.
well, it just seemed to me that Seahawks just was really wanting to play Denver won.
Well, you know, there's an old adage or an old saying or whatever you want to say, but they say defense wins championships. You've heard that before, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you what, that defensive line for the Seattle Seahawks, that's who made the difference in the ball game from start to finish. I really believe that. You know what? Mr. Smith, the linebacker for Seattle, Marshall Smith, I believe is his name, won the MVP. He had a 69-yard interception return for a touchdown for Seattle, but that would not have been possible if it would not have been for the defensive lineman.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that the defensive linemen probably don't get enough credit on that Seattle defense team.
Yeah.
But it was pretty impressive. I was ashamed to even say that I was rooting for the Broncos. Poor old Peyton Manning didn't have a snowball's chance in July.
Yeah.
And
Yet he still set a record.
he did set a record for the most completions in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, hard to believe.
And he also was MVP and Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So that was pretty impressive.
Well, the way I think it, the way I look at it,
Yes, sir?
if you got a lot of people that vote, like in Las Vegas, I mean, that bet on, say, Denver, for instance, you got a lot of people that bet on Denver.
Right?
Well, for me, the way I think of it, that instead of them paying off, that they probably sold the game. Now, what do you think about that?
They did what now?
Well, see, if everybody in Las Vegas or whoever bets on Denver,
Right?
these big wheels and stuff, bet on Denver.
Yeah?
Okay, these bookies that's taking them bets, what's to say that they could have paid Denver off to lose that game? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And Britt and I was talking something of that, something along that line here just a few days ago on one of our shows that we had. And go ahead.
Well, the crazy thing is, I don't necessarily agree or disagree, but it's certainly something to look at, and I'll tell you why. You look at these receivers from Denver all year long. They catch the ball, they get down the field. What happened? I believe that the Seahawks have a great defense, no
Right.
doubt. They're
Right.
a good-looking defense. But let me tell you something. If you go back and watch that, so many times, what's his name, the tight end, Tammy.
Yeah, Jacob Tammy.
Decker. These guys, they instead of catching the ball and turning that field like they normally do, they would dance. They would get tackled behind the line or behind the first down marker, and that's how that's how Manning had so many completions. Yet they still lost by so much. They were throwing the ball and catching it, but the receivers weren't running with it. And I kind of agree with the idea that, you know, most of these guys are in the pros for what reason? Money. I mean, that's why they're there. I mean, and that everybody doesn't make Peyton Manning money. You know, these guys, these receivers, they make a lot more money than I do, but they certainly don't make Peyton Manning money. And if these bookies and these guys out in Vegas can offer them, you know, an extra $10 million to throw the game, hey, who knows?
Well, here's what I think what needs to happen to prevent that, if that's truly the case. And I've always thought this. I think that the bottom line is this. I think that what they should do, these players get paid big money to make the playoffs.
Right. They get bonuses.
They get bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bonuses should be done away with. If you make the playoffs, that's fine. You're only going to draw your salary. You don't get a bonus. The next thing, if you make it to the Super Bowl, the only way you get a bonus is if you win the Super Bowl. So if the losing team loses, I promise you, those players on the Denver Broncos got a bonus for making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but it wouldn't do any good if the people out in Vegas are offering a bigger bonus to lose than the NFL is offering to win.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And we're talking about this guy. He's right. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars bet on Denver, and I'm telling you that there could be something to it. The only thing that seems a little odd is that they would lose so badly. I mean, it makes it look so obvious that something was wrong. To me, it was almost like they were in a different gear. You know, Seattle seemed to be in high gear, and Denver seemed to be half speed.
Seattle did not have one player on the team that had any prior Super Bowl experience. Looking at the game now, you would think that was the Denver team that didn't have any Super Bowl experience.
True.
You agree with that?
Yeah. Well, look at it this way, too. I'll point something else up to you. Like the heavyweight boxing, you remember how it was big and popular.
Yeah.
Okay, Leon Spinks, you had Marvin Hagler, you had, just all of them.
Right.
Tyson. I mean, it was all big money and all. What I think is when they bet on them, whoever they're betting on the big money on, they take that bookie and stuff, the other fighter will win. Doesn't that sound logical?
Well, sure it does. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it seems.
Well, and see, you don't, and the heavyweight boxing anymore, it ain't as popular as it used to be. So I think people's got wise to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying, but I understand what you and Brent both are saying, but I have a hard time buying into the fact that somebody like Champ Bailey, that's been in the NFL for 16 years, has just now made it to a Super Bowl, would take a buyout to lose, knowing that this is probably the one and last time.
Champ Bailey's washed up.
But exactly.
He got burnt. That wasn't
right.
That was just flat out not being able to keep up with the receivers. And I hate it for him because I think he's been a great player throughout his career, and I doubt very seriously that he had anything to do with any fixing of the game. He probably wanted to win as bad as anybody on the field, if not more than anybody. I just don't think his body had it in him.
Right. Yeah, when you take somebody that's 38, 36 years old and put them up against kids, that's average age for the Seattle Seahawks. They are the youngest, by the way, or tied for the youngest to ever win the Super Bowl at 26.4 years of age.
Yeah, if you're talking about a kicker or a pocket passer like Manning, somebody that doesn't have to have a lot of speed, a lot of quickness, or somebody that doesn't get hit a lot, they can handle that kind of thing. But you put somebody at the cornerback position, they've got to be able to move.
Oh, absolutely.
And two, the Seahawks players, now they was a hit good, though.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you, buddy.
See you.
Bye. He's got some good points, but I don't know.
I don't want to believe it.
I don't either.
And I even think that it's hard to believe. It's hard to wrap my mind around. But you've got to look at what a huge business it is. I mean, the money, like I said, their salaries are already paid through the NFL.
Right.
So these, and I say these people, I don't know, who's in charge out in Vegas. I mean, it may be the mob or who knows. All I know is the kind of money they're talking puts that money to shame, what these salaries are.
Well, yeah, because it's a multi-billion-dollar business.
Exactly.
And it has been. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
If you fellers has got that many sponsors, I'm not calling you anymore that you pay me.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
You gonna put all that on Facebook and all these archives and all this stuff? I can use some of that advertising money.
Well, you're getting advertising.
you're getting
You're on the
advertisement right
phone.
now for nothing.
I've not got any business of any kind to advertise with you, so
A sheer just satisfaction of calling us and talking to us.
well, you could get me a pretty shirt anyway.
What size?
Large.
Okay. I will get you a shirt just as soon as I possibly can. When I get it, I'm going to hold it up like this.
No, I don't believe that, 'cause they take my son up to nursing home, all kinds of shirts, caps, and everything. He thinks he's king up there
Oh, yeah?
with all the shirts and stuff that they take him.
Well, I'll get you a shirt. I promise you. I'll get you a
Well,
shirt.
I want to know if I write Peyton Manning, if I send it Peyton Manning, in care of the Broncos at Mile High
Absolutely.
It is in Denver.
Yes.
Well, I'll write it, not tomorrow, but Thursday.
Okay.
And I'm going to invite him to Campbell County.
Yeah, see if you can get him on the show with us.
Yes, please
Yeah,
do.
I'll get him to come on Just Sports.
That would be awesome.
Hey, your wife is buying all those shoes. Does she buy those stiletto heel frames?
Stilettos?
Yeah.
No. Not that.
Well, I started saying she's buying them, and I was you, I'd be awful careful.
She's got a couple of pair of those. And
Put an eye out on them
And
things.
walk them things, I'd fall and break myself all over.
I would too.
I don't see how they walk in, how their feet hold up. I think they're ugly.
Yeah. I don't know how they can walk in them, just to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, I still say I'm not calling you anymore because you don't pay me.
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll try
I
to.
know you're sorry if you wouldn't wear all them pretty shirts. So, them people that are bird screen printing are great people, and I love them because they do what they can do for different people around.
That's right.
And,
Yeah.
I knew her when she was a young girl. She went to school with my daughter, so now I'm telling my age.
Yes, you are.
So, you just take care, and if you don't pay me, I'll not call you again.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Wow.
See something.
She is something. Also, folks, if you'd like to call in, you can call 566-1450 or 562-3557. Or if you're one of those folks that they do not like to talk on the phone, you can befriend us on Just Sports, Brent and Les. Or if you're already a friend of us, you can send your comments or your questions, and we'll get through them as quickly as we possibly can.
That's right.
Getting back to the middle school team, and then we're going to cover some Campbell County basketball news. I've got to call into Coach Parker. He has committed to coming on the show. I've got to narrow it down. He's going to bring some kids to come onto the show. I don't know exactly what time, what day. Stay tuned for that information going forward. I'm in talks right now with Coach Kane of La Follette Middle School. Would like to get him on this Thursday night. I don't have verification as of yet if that will happen this Thursday night. I certainly hope so. He's going to bring some kids on and come on the show as well. And also Coach Housley. We hope to have Coach Housley call into the show Thursday or next Tuesday, or maybe even come on the show. They had a great game against Carnes last night. They lost by a score of 70-68. That was on. They last second shot bounced off the rim.
Just missed.
Just missed. They lost by a score of 70-68 to Carnes. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
Hi, Liz.
Hey, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We did not hear from you last Thursday. I was a little disappointed. I almost cried all the way home.
I'm sorry. I thought I was kind of busy last Thursday.
Oh, really?
So, I thought you was on the TV. I thought you was in Charlie's.
No, we will be on the TV. I almost got my English language department kind of messed up there, but we will be on TV Tuesday and Thursday night from here on out until next August. I mean,
okay.
this August.
Is it? Okay. I got mad. I got a problem with my family. Me and my family got problems.
Well, I hate to hear that. I really do.
My brother, I never talk to my brother anymore. Nothing no more.
Well, that ain't good. We'll talk about sports. How's that?
Okay. I'd say Rick's gonna be 59, and they will be 38.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we will beat them this time.
Who's that?
So good was football.
Oh, okay. Who's your favorite team?
So good was.
All right. See you, ma'am.
Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Hey, Liz,
Yes, ma'am.
can you pray for us?
Absol-
For me.
Absolutely. I sure will.
Thanks, Liz. I need
All right.
prayers.
All right. We'll make sure we do that.
Okay,
All right. Bye-bye.
bye.
All right, caller, here you go. Here is the address for Mile High Stadium. The address for Sports Authority Field at Mile High is, I hope you're listening. I hope I'm going to give you just a second to get you a pen
You know she's listening.
and a piece of paper, because I'm going to give you the address right to Denver Broncos field. It is 1701 Bryant, Bryant Street, Denver, Colorado. And their zip code is 80204. Once again, 1701 Bryant Street, Bryant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80204. Now, you need to write Mr. Peyton Manning, make it to attention to Peyton Manning. You'll be good to go.
There you go.
So, what more can you ask for? Getting back to Campbell County basketball real quick before we move on to a lot of other sports that we've got to talk about. We're going to talk about, we're coming up on a break, but this is what we're going to talk about the second half of the hour.
All right.
I've got a million things running through my mind. Can you tell?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I guess. The only problem is they all run together.
Can't catch one.
No, I can't catch one. We're going to be talking about Campbell County basketball when we come back, Coach Matt Housley. Also, we're going to be talking about signing day tomorrow. Talk about some recruits for the Tennessee Volunteers, as well as we're going to talk about the Campbell County girls basketball team. They came up short tonight against Powell, as well as the Campbell County boys team came up short against Powell after playing a great game last night for both teams. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl some more. Also, we're going to talk about the Tennessee basketball team come off of a great win last Saturday against Alabama. They are tied for fourth in the Southeastern Conference standings. If you really want to get technical, they're probably third because they beat LSU and Tennessee is 5-3. So with that being said, you're listening to Just Sports.
WLAF Sports Network.
Welcome back to your Tuesday night edition of Just Sports. My name is Les Martin along with Brent Allen. We have got a lot of things to talk about. And, you know, our producer just brought something to my knowledge that maybe I misspoke, and I'm not for sure if I did or not. In my mind, I thought that I said we would be on television Tuesday and Thursday night up until August, and then on Thursday night we will be broadcasting live at Charlie's Pizza.
Right.
So just to set the record straight. Also, last Thursday we talked about Rodney Garner. You remember that?
I do.
He was at the University of Tennessee. Georgia hired him away. He went to Georgia. I forgot to mention the fact last Thursday night, I believe it was last Thursday night, that he is now with Auburn Tigers and has been with Auburn for a year.
Okay.
Gus Malzahn hired Rodney Gardner to be a recruiting coordinator for the Auburn Tigers,
Wow.
or something to that effect. So he's a great recruiter.
Good move.
He's probably not a recruiting coordinator because he's not going to have time to coordinate everybody. He's probably just a recruiter and a coach, but he is an excellent recruiter anywhere he goes. I mean,
Well, a guy with his talents, you could name and pay as the recruiting coordinator, but have
Right.
someone else actually coordinate.
exactly. And trust me, there's a lot of that probably goes on.
Yeah, I'm
So, with that being said, we're going to talk about Campbell County basketball real quick. Coach Housley had a great game last night against Corns. Like I said, he lost by a score of 70-68. The girls won last night by a score of 71-48, I believe the score was. I'm not for sure on the definite score, but I know Campbell County girls scored 71 points. They won last night. Both Campbell County basketball teams lost tonight against Powell, and the girls lost by a score of 43-28, and the boys lost by a score of 56-43. Here is my question for you. I like basketball, I like baseball, I like just about all sports. I mean, really. One sport that I do not watch is tennis, unless it's Nadal and Federer or someone like that. But how do you play such a good game against Carnes and lose by 2 points to one of the top ranked teams, 15th ranked team, and then you lose by 13 points to Powell the day after? Is it because, I'll give you a couple of different options here.
Okay.
Is it because they were up so much for the game against Carnes and Sibley, and they spent everything they had emotionally on the basketball game last night and come out flat-footed tonight? Or did Powell just simply stifle the offense for Campbell County because Campbell County scored 68 against Carnes, they only scored 43 tonight against Powell? What possibly could that be?
I'm going with door number one, Les.
Door number
Door
one.
number one. I believe that what's occurred here is that they were physically and mentally and emotionally drained. I didn't get to see it, but according to you, there was a final shot. I guess a two or a
Right.
3-point. Was it a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer? It doesn't matter. It would have tied or won the game either
Correct.
way. And apparently it bounced out at the last second. That's the kind of thing that just can deflate a team and really, jerk the rug out from under them. And it takes a little while to get that confidence built back up, and you have to turn around and play right back to back again. I would say that it was the combination of the tight game against a team that technically, as far as the if you'd call them experts, we shouldn't have been with that team, but to have to be that close and to be able to be in sight of beating them and lose, then
It's
just draining.
It certainly makes a difference, especially when you've got a game. And Carnes was a makeup game, so it was one of those situations that when Carnes came into Campbell County Gymnasium, John R.W. Brown Gymnasium last night, Campbell County was up for that game. I'm not saying that Campbell County wasn't up for the game tonight, but there's a big difference between the scoring output last night for the Campbell County Cougars and a scoring output for tonight against Powell on both sides of the ball, both girls and boys. The girls scored 71 points last night. They only scored 28 tonight. That is 7 points per quarter tonight against Powell for the girls, and the boys scored just over 10 points per quarter. And of course, the Campbell County defense played extremely well tonight because they held Powell to 53 points. But I'm with you. I think it takes an emotional toll on these kids when they're playing such a high-ranked team, which is Carnes is a very good team, and they lose by 2 points. It takes it would take a lot out of me. So I would think that was probably...
and the tough turnaround, just having to turn around and play again the very next day, it's just too much.
Yeah.
And when we talk to the coaches, maybe we'll find out that it was simply a matter of having to play to their style of basketball. And
Right.
that may be the difference in the scoring. I don't know, but most likely I'll go with the first option.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. Coach Housey, if you're feel free to call in, brother. We would love to talk to you tonight. I know that you just wrapped it up with WLAF at the gymnasium. Tough loss. Campbell County is 3-12 in the district, 7-17 overall. Playing against Carnes last night, they played extremely well tonight. They probably didn't play as well as Coach Housey would like for them to play, but they've got one game left, and that's this Friday at home against Halls. They certainly need to win that to go into the district play on a winning note.
Yeah.
They've lost 5 in a row. Campbell County has now lost 5 in a row, and they definitely need to break that streak against Halls so they can go into the district on an up note for the kids. When you lose 5 ball games in a row, it's tough.
I agree.
I mean, it's like football, right? It's like any sport. Whenever that you play and you're putting everything out on the table and you're giving your all, and you have a winning or a losing streak, it works just the opposite as if you was having a winning streak.
Yeah, it can get in your head, and you can it becomes tough just to win just on the, I mean, just the fact of winning, regardless of the opponent. You know, it just becomes an issue, and hopefully that's not the case.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
Have they found him a baseball coach to help pull old Ryan Browning out?
Oh yeah, they got Brian Miracle.
Oh, well, I hadn't heard that. I read the sports page, but they got so much on it that I can't read it all.
Yeah, they got Brian Miracle to help. Also, they've got Justin Willoughby helping the middle school team as well. So yeah, they've got some coaches in place for Coach Browning.
Well, good. He needs some relief. They about worked that poor boy to death.
Yeah, but you know what? He hasn't missed a beat. He's going to have he's got the girls playing good basketball. He will have the boys playing good baseball as he did last year. This year is an entirely different team, and they start March the 8th, I believe it is their first game. March the 1st, they'll have a play date at Oak Ridge. So, I mean, we're less than a month away from baseball season.
Well, Ryan Browning is a big, tall man. He needs to lay back and relax.
Yeah, he is.
Some old bones and gets hard, and he won't have to slide down that court. He don't have to coach everything.
Right. I understand, but he's baseball is his first love. He will be the one to tell you that baseball is his first love. Not to say that he does not like basketball, because he's got he and Jill Browning has a daughter that plays elementary school basketball that's pretty doggone good.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jill. I mean, wait a minute. Let me think for name.
Okay.
Luke and Cora.
Cora, yes. Cora's her
Cora
name.
Browning and Luke Browning are the kids.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
They're fine kids.
Yeah, Cora's a pretty good basketball player. She must get that from her mother.
She'll learn how to slap their eyes out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
They better watch their eyeballs when she's around, 'cause she will get them.
Yeah, she's a hustler. She really likes to play the game.
She's a cutie, and we love her. Bye, fellas.
Bye-bye.
Hey, this just in, according to knoxblogs.com, one of our recruits, one of the 34 in the class, linebacker, 3-star linebacker Jerome Dews, has decided to enroll at a prep school
In Atlanta?
In Atlanta, which the Atlanta Sports Academy, that's who Slayton played against. They came up and played a couple of games against University of Cumberland's JV team, and I guess the purpose is to get their grades in order and continue to play football and stay football ready, so that when they get their grades right, they can get. And maybe it's an NCAA clearinghouse thing. It doesn't say what the situation is. I believe that what the situation is we've got too many players, and Coach Jones has picked a few and said, look, we want you, but we're going to ask you to do this for the team so that we can pick up this 4-star or this guy, that we need more of.
Well,
But,
the situation, and I'm glad you mentioned that because it slipped my mind. Jerome Dews is a 3-star linebacker, a pretty good linebacker to say the least, but he will be going to Atlanta to play in the prep school, like you said, but they was going to ask him to gray shirt.
Right.
So he's going to go ahead and gray shirt, which that will allow him to go play at a prep school, and he will enroll next January, and they'll have a spot for him on the team. Like Brent says, that does two things. That makes room for you this year, and it also keeps a committed to the University of Tennessee, plus keeps him in football shape and football ready.
Right, January 2015. Keep in mind, folks, that they're working hard on the lineman from Vanderbilt, the decommitted from Vanderbilt, 4-star lineman. Forgotten his name, but I think that's, in my opinion, that's what they're really shooting for. They're shooting to get his name to come across that fax in the morning.
Well, it's Tennessee's. They're going to have a lot of names coming across the fax tomorrow, and I'm kind of eager to find out exactly exactly how many that we will have that will commit. Will we get all of them? Right now, there is a total of, and I'm going to try to count these
Well, I
extremely
can tell you,
quick.
there's 33. 33 total.
14's already.
Right, 14 have already enrolled.
So
and
that leaves-
there was 20 left until this young man has decided to go the prep route. So that leaves
19.
right.
Yeah.
There's 19 that are committed, verbally committed, and as of tomorrow, we'll see how many actually sign.
And this is a class, folks, that's going to be ranked number 3 overall. And just so that you know, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, the Southeastern Conference has 9 teams that's ranked in the top 20 as far as recruits, as recruiting class. Also, Alabama, this will be the 3rd consecutive year that Alabama has raked in the number 1 recruiting class. Now, we can probably say that the reason why it is like it is simply because of the fact of going to bowl games, national championships, and the Southeastern Conference by far finished 7-3 in the bowl games this past season, which is a very good winning record compared to all the other conferences, is certainly the king of all conferences when it comes to college football.
Yeah, I think they're still holding on. I don't quite think the SEC is quite as dominant as it has been in the past few years, but they are still holding on, and the numbers don't lie. I think Adoree Jackson ended up going with Alabama, did he not?
Adoree Jackson?
Yeah. We were holding out for him, right?
Yes.
We were holding out for him, 5-star cornerback, hoping that he may surprise the world, but he didn't. He thought of himself and went to Alabama.
Yes.
And you can't blame the guy for doing that. But we're still on the radar on another on a 4-star cornerback. And there's a really good article. I don't know how you'd have to Google it to find it on Evan and Elliott Berry. I'm telling you, I'm starting to get more excited. At first, I really thought this was kind of just a we'll take him. It's kind of the legacy thing with Dylan Bates and the other guys coming in. Nico Kramer and those guys, but from what I'm seeing, these 2 guys have the ability and the body style that they could be a lot like their big brother.
Right, exactly. One of those, like you said, Evan and Elliott is certainly one of those gentlemen that can play the game of football, because if they could not have played the game of football, one's a 4-star, one's a 3-star, one's on athleticism, one's here on cornerback or defensive back. So it's one of those situations where you could have these 2 young Berry twins can come in and probably produce and what's the word I'm looking for? Contribute. Thank you.
No problem.
See, they say great minds think alike.
I don't know how that just happened then. We just
Adoree Jackson is one of those guys that's who he was talking about,
yes.
Correct? Adoree Jackson, he's from Los Angeles. He's one of those guys that he also has been looking at UCLA as well. He's took some other visits, but I really believe one of the situation is going to be the fact that he will announce to go to Alabama. I really believe that he will go to Alabama. I think the only thing that will keep him from going to Alabama would be Lane Kiffin.
Well, I think I read that he had already stated that that's where he would be going. I don't know if it was an official verbal. Now we're getting. I mean, it gets so exaggerated or stretched out. Official verbal commitment, doesn't really mean anything. I mean, it's just
right.
Until they sign that paper, and that's the problem. That's what's so exciting about tomorrow. We could end up getting stiffed. A lot of these guys could change their mind at the last minute and commit to somebody else. It happens all the time. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Coach Jones has got them believing, and I think we'll have a really solid. Pretty much everybody that's on our list is going to sign. But unfortunately, it does happen at the last minute, and at the same time, though, we could pick up a couple. Lane Kiffin did it. I can't remember the player right now, But on signing day, Lane Kiffin pulled somebody from Alabama or maybe Georgia that was a really high profile player. So it does happen.
Well, Adoree Jackson will make his choice known tomorrow at 2 o'clock on ESPNU.
Oh, I know what it was now. He has disqualified Tennessee. He's pared it down to 2, I believe.
Right, and here's 4 of the schools that he has went and had visits at: Florida, LSU, UCLA, and USC. And according to this article, Adoree Jackson will make his choice among those 4 schools. Now, let me ask you this. Is Nick Saban sly enough to slide in there and take this recruit from those 4 colleges?
I thought he was already looking at Bama, and if that's the case, then I'm going to say no, and I'll tell you why. I don't have Bama's recruiting class in front of me, but I would be willing to bet that they've got 3 or 4 5-star cornerbacks already. And once, sometimes these guys get in a position where they wait too late, and why would you want to go to that school when you can go to USC and be the big man on campus, and you're still going to get all the exposure, or Florida or whoever, and you still get plenty of exposure, and you're still going to go to the pros. So that's probably the situation.
Yeah, it's one of those. Alabama has 2 kids that's already enrolled, and that's DJ Petaway and Jaron Reed, defensive end and defensive tackle. And according to this information that I've got here in front of me, Adoree Jackson is not even on the list of Alabama's recruits. Alabama has a total of, looks like, 18, 19 recruits. 2 of those, 4 of those is 5-star. The rest are 4 and 3-star players. None of those are rated below a 3-star. Deshaun Hand is a 5-star. Marlon Humphrey, Deshaun Hand is a defensive end. Marlon Humphrey is a defensive back at 5-star, as well as Cameron Robinson, offensive line, is 5-star. And Bo Scarborough out of Northport, Alabama, Tuscaloosa County, athleticism, he's a 5-star. They got one at home.
Yeah. The other thing that can happen in these situations is, right now they're showing Tennessee's recruiting class ranked at 3 or 4,
3,
depending on who you talk to. But here's the deal: they're ranking it on the 33 players that they've already got commitments from. What you don't know, the unknown right now, is if Alabama's only got 17 or 18 verbally committed, but tomorrow they pick up 10 more. Or 8 more, 6 more,
right.
4 and 5-star players, and I'm saying Alabama. It could be anybody. We could end up in the maybe 12th, depending on how many teams pick up these highly ranked players. Now, there's not that many left out there, but if one team were to pick up several, it could certainly shoot them up in the ranks.
Well, I was looking here because Vanderbilt at one particular time, when James Franklin was at Vanderbilt before he took the Penn State job, they was ranked in the top 10 in recruits. I'm looking for Vanderbilt now, and I'm all the way down to 35th right now, and I don't see Vanderbilt. Does a head coach make that big of a difference?
In this situation, absolutely. When Vanderbilt has been the stepping stone, or whatever you want to call it, the doormat of the SEC for so long, and then you get a guy in there with so much excitement and so much, and brought so much to the table. When he leaves, you lose a lot. I tell you somebody to watch though, Kentucky. Kentucky could end up with a better team, with a better recruiting class than us as far as stars go and all that.
And that has a lot to do with Mark Stoops.
It has all same thing. Head coach at a school without really much of a tradition of winning, but you bring somebody like that in, it shows players that this school, this administration is serious about winning. They want to start winning.
And Kentucky, by the way, is ranked number 13th. But the problem is this: they have no 5-star recruits. They have 10 4-star recruits and 16 3-star recruits. But it just goes to show you, stars is not everything.
Right, and this could change in the morning. Who ends up actually signing with them.
Exactly. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
I can tell way yous are talking. You didn't have time to watch the news tonight.
No, I didn't get home until almost 7 o'clock.
Well, they showed Convo Martin and the men's team at Vanderbilt in their gym practicing. They play them tomorrow night.
Right, exactly. We was going to get to the Tennessee Vols basketball team here in just a second.
Well, you're awful slow of getting to it.
I know. We was talking about recruiting news. I'm sorry.
You're about out of time.
I'm trying. I'm hurrying. I promise I am. Bye. Speaking of which, we'll find out tomorrow. We can break it all down Thursday night on the Just Sports Show. But it's one of those situations. Let me get this call. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You're on the air.
Hey, are you guys just talking recruiting right now?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know you had a sports show on this channel. I flipped through some politics last week, and I just flipped over to see what was on. Today on Sports Center, I flipped through. They said Alabama, the way it goes now, you know, which anything can happen on signing day, would finish number 1 again this year, and in the last 5 years, they've not finished worse than 3 the last 5 years in recruiting.
Yeah. Wow. For the last 3 years, Alabama has been number 1.
Right, and in the top 3 in the last 5 years. That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the reason why Alabama has won national championship after national championship with Nick Saban.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, and with the stars, I heard the guy say a minute ago, it don't matter the stars. I know the 5-star and the 4-star, because to get athletes like that, but you got to develop those guys.
Absolutely.
4-stars coming in, if you don't develop them, they're not going to pan out.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, we've had some 5-stars that come in from Southeastern Conference that's been bust.
Yeah.
We've had some 3-stars and 2-stars that's come in that's been exceptional athletes, and it just depends on, and I really believe this, if the kid is coachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's got a lot to do with it. Keep in mind, these kids, when they're a 5-star, all through high school, they're treated like a king. You know, they get out here to an SEC school or any major Division I school, and suddenly they're not the king anymore, and they might not like being told what to do. You know,
exactly.
And suddenly you have personality issues, and maybe that's not what they wanted to do. You know.
Yeah. Are you a Tennessee Vol fan, or are you Alabama?
I'm an Alabama fan.
Okay.
I moved here when I was 4 years old, lived in Tennessee, but I played at Alabama 1 year, and I live here now. Anyway, one question.
Sure.
Tennessee's offensive line, because I'm wondering, I haven't got to follow it as much as I have in the past. Are they recruiting? How many offensive linemen have they got in recruits? Because I know we lost some, Tennessee lost some offensive linemen, and I know they didn't have that much last year in the line. Have they got some good coming in on this class or what? And I'll hang up and listen to your comment.
All right. Thank you, buddy. They've got a total of 5 offensive linemen that's coming in, and possibly could have even more than that from some of these defensive guys that's coming in as well.
A couple of them could put on weight and end up turning around, but actually this year they're not really. The goal has not been to recruit a lot of offensive linemen. We've got a lot of guys waiting in the wings, and that's the issue right now is they're trying to shore up the defense. Our defense has been atrocious the past couple of years, and I think that's why they put so much extra effort into the defense.
Right. We've got a total of 5 offensive linemen as far as coming into this recruiting class, if they all commit.
Right.
And I think we've got 2 of those or 3 of those that's already committed and in at Tennessee.
Right.
So we're waiting for the other 2. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
How you doing, Lex?
Buddy, I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Just at one of my favorite place eating a little pizza tonight.
You must be at Charlie's Pizza.
Yes, I sure am.
Well, I got one question for you, Ed.
Yes,
Cousin Ed. That's going to be your new nickname, Cousin Ed.
Cousin Ed.
Cousin Ed. Who's buying your pizza tonight? You?
Yep.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. No, I'm teasing, Cousin Ed. I'm just teasing.
I just started calling in and giving us a couple of scores of the tournament, Junior Pro tournament. Tyler Kirby won over Travis Thompson's team 22-7, and then the second game of the evening was Doyle's Tire Shop falling to H&H, 16-18.
16-18. So Doyle's Tires lost by a score of 18-16 is what you're telling me?
Yes, and that's their season, you know.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't give us a chance to, we were supposed to win one game this year, but we got in there with all the coaches and had a real good season.
Good. Fantastic.
But how's Brent doing?
Fantabulistic.
I asked some players, I just talked to some players, but when are the signing days for Campbell County with the colleges? Do you know?
It will be the same way as everything else. It will be tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay.
Yes.
Because I've asked some people and they said they didn't know when. And I said, signing day's tomorrow, you know.
Right, and that doesn't mean, that doesn't hold, that's just, they basically do this for Division One. I mean, all of the signing could start as early as tomorrow.
Right.
But they'll be able to sign throughout, I mean, for several more months, you know.
Correct.
It's not an end of the deal kind of thing.
In other words, you just don't have one day and it's over.
Right.
That's the opening, what we call open season on recruiting, to shore up your recruiting class. That's when you can receive the letter of intent, right, and where they can sign with the school. Is tomorrow. That doesn't mean that they will sign tomorrow, like Brent said.
And one question, I've not got to talk to a lot of the players, but where's Christian Monday do you think's going to go with?
I don't know if Christian Monday will go anywhere, just to be perfectly honest with you.
What about Nick Bailey?
Nick Bailey, last I heard, was very interested in Carson Newman, if I remember correctly.
I talked to him recently. He said he hasn't really put a lot of work into it. He's got plenty of time. He didn't have a front runner, and this was last week when I spoke with him. And he may have somebody. He may surprise us. I don't know. But he'll play for somebody. I mean,
yeah,
It's just a matter of who he wants to play for and who matches his style of play.
And one last question: what about Corey Phillips and Evans? Did they go anywhere?
Not that I know of on Andrew Evans or Corey Phillips. That doesn't mean that they won't go anywhere. We just haven't had a lot of conversation with them. But I'll tell you what we will do, and we'll try to get a hold of those guys. We'll try to get a hold of those guys between now and Thursday and see if we can get an update on Nick Bailey, Andrew Evans, Christian Monday, and Corey Phillips.
All right. Well, I'll let you go because I know that the show's about to wrap up. And only thing I've got to say is go Cougars 2014. And I'll see you when the season starts.
All right, man.
See you, Cousin Ed.
All right.
Bye. For that gentleman that called right before Cousin Ed, we have this sports show every Tuesday and Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Feel free to call in. We certainly appreciate the calls from everybody.
That's right.
We're actually just a little over here.
Running over time.
Our producer is so patient with us and does a fantastic job. As you can tell, folks, those that's listening online, you can listen online at 1450WLAF.com. You can click on Watch WLAF, and our feed is fantabulistic.
That's
Is that
right.
what you said?
That's right. And folks, also, if you think of a question throughout the week or just any time, you can send it on Facebook, and the next show we have, we can bring it up and discuss it then.
Exactly. So, for everyone that made this show possible, thank you. For our executive producer that's so patient and waiting on us, Honeybee. My name is Les Martin.
I'm Brent Allen. God bless, and go Cougars.
WLAF Sports Network.